right, I would like to welcome in now Tommy Pigott, Principal Deputy Spokesperson for the U.S. State Department. Tommy, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. I want to start with what we just heard there from Joe. We know that these government lawyers back in front of federal Judge Boasberg again today. Is there any indication the U.S. is prepared to potentially work with El Salvador to bring back these migrants, if not all of them? We know at least one of them was mistakenly sent there.
Well, I don't want to speak to ongoing legal proceedings. I'd refer you to DHS and DOJ. What I can do is, stepping back here for a second, speak to the importance of securing our border and speak to the diplomatic partnerships that we do have around our region. We are seeing partners across our region, across the world, wanting to step up to end illegal immigration, wanting to step up to combat transnational crime, because of course that benefits the United States, but it benefits our entire region. What we saw over the previous 4 years was a preventable border crisis that caused untold human suffering. President Trump has come in, he's taken action, and Secretary Rubio has gone across the world, gone across our region to work with our partners to make sure we're addressing this crisis, making sure that we're ending illegal immigration, making sure we're combating transnational crime. And again, that helps the U.S., but also helps our partners throughout our region and throughout the whole world.
Well, you know, and Tommy, I know that this may be more of a question for DHS, but are you concerned? I mean, are there concerns about what type of message we're sending if we are sending people out of the country who may not be part of a gang, who may be here legally?
Look, again, I want to refer you to DHS on the specifics of this case, but in terms of, again, the broader message that this administration is sending is that we are ending illegal immigration, that we are combating transnational crime. We have seen concrete actions from this administration, from the State Department to make sure we are doing that. Again, this border crisis over the past 4 years has caused untold human suffering, both in the United States, but throughout our region. And what we are seeing in conversations with our partners across our region, across the world, is an eagerness to partner with us, steps that our partners are taking to end illegal immigration, to combat transnational crime. And this, again, is benefiting the United States, but also benefiting our partners throughout the region to make sure we're coming together to combat transnational crime and end illegal immigration.
Yeah, we certainly are seeing those numbers have dropped drastically at the southern border. All right, let's move on. Secretary Rubio today, you know, talking with NATO leaders, trying to convince our allies that the U.S. is absolutely committed to the alliance. I'd like to listen to some of what he said.
As we speak right now, the United States is as active in NATO as it has ever been. But we want NATO to be stronger. We want NATO to be more viable. And the only way NATO can get stronger and more viable is if our partners, the nation states that comprise this important alliance, have more capability. But we've prioritized defense because of the role we've played in the world. And we want our partners to do the same. And so we do want to leave here with an understanding that we are on a pathway, a realistic pathway, to every single one of the members committing and fulfilling a promise to reach up to 5% of spending. That includes the United States will have to increase its percentage. Because if the threats truly are as dire as I believe they are, and the members of this alliance believe they are, then that threat has to be confronted by a full and real commitment to have the capability to confront these things.
You know, and certainly there, Secretary Rubio really reinforcing what we have heard time and time again from President Trump, who feels that way. But European allies in Canada, they do have real concerns about the president's relationship with Vladimir Putin. You know, we have reporting today he'll be speaking with him again on the phone. There are concerns from some of our allies about a potential U.S. troop drawdown. Can the U.S. definitively say that that will not happen?
Look, what I can say is that we remain committed to NATO. That was clear from Secretary Rubio. President Trump has made that clear. President Trump and Secretary Rubio are guided by two North Stars when it comes to this issue: a strong and fully capable alliance, but also when it comes to the conflict in Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, making sure we are pursuing peace, making sure we are ending this conflict, which we need to see an end to. So that is what we're seeing here. When it comes to NATO, again, calling for that 5% spending, or that increase of defense spending to 5%, is important in having that strong and capable alliance. And I think Secretary Rubio going there, President Trump again talking about needing to see those investments increase, that shows how dedicated we are to this alliance. We want strong, capable alliance. We want an alliance that is meeting its obligation, or member states rather meeting their commitments. So we want to see that, and we want to make sure that we have that NATO alliance increasing in its capability, and our commitment to NATO remains.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.